madness. This is Sparta!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 21 most badass movie scenes of each year.
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Take the bloody shot!
For this list, we'll be looking at the coolest and most unforgettable movie sequences we saw between 2000 and 2020. Since some of these scenes occur at climactic moments, here is your spoiler warning. Which scene was your favorite? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. 2000. Yu Shulian vs. Jen Yu, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
好，说翻脸就翻脸。
Granted, the Maximus vs. Tigress matchup in Gladiator was pretty badass, but we're giving this spot to the duel between Yu Shulian and Jen Yu in Ang Lee's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, widely praised as one of the greatest martial arts movies of all time. This is athleticism at its absolute finest, as the two fight with unbelievable speed, precision, and agility. The choreography, camera work, and editing are second to none. All of the stunts and movements are easily followed and beautifully framed. Audiences watching this duel get to see fighting and filmmaking experts work together to craft something awe-inspiring. 2001, Boromir's Last Stand, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Boromir goes out in a blaze of glory at the end of The Fellowship of the Ring. After turning on Frodo and attempting to steal the ring for himself, Boromir earns his redemption by defending Merry and Pippin from the attacking Uruk-hai. It's an exercise in bravery and nobility, and yes, badassery, as Boromir continues to fight even after getting hit with 2 arrows. Although he's barely able to swing his sword, Boromir stands against his foes for as long as he can in his attempts to keep the hobbits safe. Unfortunately, a 3rd arrow proved too much for him to bear, but at least Boromir went out as a hero.
In peace, son of Gondor.
2002, Stairwell Fight, The Bourne Identity. Gandalf's struggle against the Balrog in the Two Towers is obviously magnificent, but for the sake of variety, we're going with a scene from The Bourne Identity. Matt Damon proved himself to be a commendable action star as Jason Bourne. The actor worked closely with movie stunts choreographer Nick Powell so that he could perform many of the stunts himself. In the movie's best scene, Bourne fights goons on a long stairwell. To end the sequence, he uses one enemy to cushion a long fall while managing to shoot a gunman on the way down. Bourne probably wouldn't have survived that fall in real life, but hey, it made for a really cool movie stunt. (2003) The Bride vs. the Crazy 88, Kill Bill Volume 1. 2003 was a great year for action sequences. The Return of the King gave us the epic charge of the Rohirrim. In The Matrix Reloaded, we got a great freeway chase. But the winner of the year was the Crazy 88 fight at the end of Kill Bill Volume 1. Tarantino's love letter to kung fu films honored the genre in spectacular fashion with this climactic fight sequence.
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
In typical Tarantino fashion, the scene is intentionally over-the-top and cartoonish, complete with lots of injured henchmen and some questionable physics. It's also wonderfully edited, has great choreography, and contains fantastic stunts.
Go home to your mother!
The violent and action-packed climax Kill Bill had been building up to certainly did not disappoint. 2004, Stopping the Train, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is often regarded as one of the best superhero films ever made. In the year it premiered, Achilles and Hector fought in Troy. Tom Cruise took out some briefcase-stealing thugs with frightening precision in Collateral. But Spider-Man 2 swung to the top of 2004 with its iconic train sequence. When Spider-Man has to stop an out-of-control train, he shoots countless webs at nearby buildings.
Tell everyone to hang on! Break it down!
The combination of his webs and superhuman strength proved just powerful enough to slow and stop the train right before it plunges off the track. It's a cool sequence that's made even better by Danny Elfman's music and Tobey Maguire's performance. He convincingly sells Peter's physical pain, anguish, and exhaustion from saving the day. 2005, Marv picks up a hatchet, Sin City. The world of Sin City is filled with some seriously badass characters, but the one who stood out above the rest was Mickey Rourke's Marv.
You're not gonna get either of us killed, Marv.
In one of the movie's coolest sequences, Marv makes his way through some corrupt cops with nothing but a tiny hatchet. Before the audience can take a breath, Marv mows down half a dozen armored and gun-wielding police officers. The fight is brief but horrifically violent. The scene's graphic detail made it a great action sequence and an extremely faithful adaptation of Frank Miller's violent comic.
That there is one damn fine coat you wear.
What more could fans have asked for? 2006, This is Sparta, 300. Serving as yet another adaptation of Frank Miller's work, 300 gave audiences a highly stylized depiction of the Battle of Thermopylae. Ancient Sparta is also dramatized a bit, unless of course there actually was a massive, unprotected, bottomless pit in the middle of the city. That ominous hole became a huge part of one of the movie's signature sequences.
Submission. Now that's a bit of a problem.
When King Leonidas I takes issue with an envoy's message, the royal delivers an iconic line before giving the messenger a close-up of the pit. Gerard Butler's gruff delivery and dramatic slow-motion kick made this scene gloriously over the top.
Madness. This is Sparta!
The scene was good enough to take the 2006 spot from both Casino Royale's parkour chase and the bridge attack in Mission Impossible 3. 2007, Sam defends Robert, I Am Legend. While seeing humans pull off incredible feats is great, there's something really special about watching a dog lay down the law.
Let's go. Come on. Sam, come on.
In this post-apocalyptic thriller, an injured Neville gets attacked by a horde of infected dogs. Knowing that her human is weak, Robert's dog Sam decides to fight the twisted canines herself. She's able to hold them off until he helps take them down. Unfortunately, Sam is bitten in the confrontation. Robert has no choice but to take out his friend before the infection takes over.
I was up this morning.
It's a deeply upsetting sequence, but at least Robert and the audience knows that Sam went out as a very good dog. 2008, Batman flips a truck, The Dark Knight. 2008 was a historic year for superhero films. Iron Man got the MCU off to a great start and featured a spectacular scene where the hero blows up a tank and walks away. The Dark Knight also earned critical acclaim and the year's best scene with its famous truck flip.
Now there's a Batman.
While chasing the Joker's truck, Batman wraps a cable around its wheels. Moments later, the 18-wheeler catapults through the air and completely flips on its back.
He missed!
This stunt was actually done practically with the assistance of a massive piston to flip the truck. Although 7 different cameras captured the scene, only 2 angles appear in the film. Only Christopher Nolan could pull off a practical show-stealing stunt like this. 2009, the introduction of Donnie the Bear Jew Donowitz, Inglourious Bastards. The scene in which Gerard Butler dispatches a prisoner with a steak bone in Law-Abiding Citizen was certainly creative and memorable, but this spot goes to Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards.
Hear that?
Yes.
Sergeant Donnie Donowitz. You might know him better by his nickname, the Bear Jew.
Donnie Donowitz's introduction builds him up with ominous words, amazing music, and the clattering of his wooden baseball bat before he emerges in all his glory. Although Donowitz is extremely intimidating, the Nazi soldier at his mercy refuses to crack. He stoically looks at the bat before meeting a brutal end. There's almost too much badassery on display here to contain. This character introduction easily made for one of the year's best scenes. 2010, the spinning hallway fight, Inception. One of the most stunning scenes in 2010's Inception is surprisingly short. When Arthur loses gravity while in a dream level, the hallway starts to spin. But that doesn't stop him from fighting. Arthur's fight with dream security is extremely quick and broken up with slow-motion shots of a van tumbling through the freeway. It's a testament to Christopher Nolan's filmmaking that an action sequence so short could produce such a visceral reaction. This was a standout scene when Inception came out, and it's still regarded as one of the most creative and iconic action moments in modern movie history. The unbroken long take within the sequence alone will be adored and fervently studied for years to come.
Did you see that?
2011, pretty much the whole movie, The Raid. Directed by Gareth Evans, The Raid earned high praise for its martial arts action and stellar fight choreography. Not since Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon had martial arts been so expertly conveyed, filmed, and edited. Since we couldn't choose just one scene from this high-octane action film, we chose them all. That's right. We will, however, highlight the scene where rookie cop Rama takes on 4 fighters at once in a hallway. We also have to throw in the one-on-one match between Sergeant Jaka and the brutal Mad Dog. And we'd be remiss not to mention the climactic battle between Rama, Andy, and Mad Dog. (2012) Istanbul Chase, Skyfall. The first Batman vs. Bane fight in The Dark Knight Rises is obviously iconic. However, Skyfall contained an excellent opening sequence that must be commended. During the scene, Bond and Moneypenny chase a mercenary named Patrice through Istanbul. Although the Bond franchise has plenty of impeccably staged action sequences, this is easily one of the best the series has ever produced. It's just wall-to-wall excitement, complete with a motorcycle chase on the rooftops, Bond tearing apart a train car with an excavator, and a fight atop a moving train. The filmmaking and stunt work are extraordinary enough to elevate Skyfall above its 2012 competitors.
Take the shot. I say take the shot. I can't, I may hit Bond. Take the bloody shot.
2013, Gypsy Danger takes on Otachi and Leatherback, Pacific Rim. Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim is an ambitious film that portrays an apocalyptic future in which humanity is at war with giant monsters. To combat the monsters, humans utilize massive robots called Jaegers. In the film's finest sequence, the Jaeger Gypsy Danger fights 2 monsters named Otachi and Leatherback.
Come on! Let's do this together!
The scale of the fight is simply incredible and packed with creative visuals and jaw-dropping moments. At one point, Gypsy Danger uses an entire ship as a weapon. While Leatherback is taken out with a plasma cannon, Otachi is sliced in half by a massive sword. The pure kaiju action on display makes for extraordinary viewing. 2014, The Elevator Fight, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. 2014 was a competitive year for badass action scenes, as we also got John Wick's fast-paced club sequence. But we're giving this spot to the brutal elevator fight from The Winter Soldier.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
When Cap gets ambushed by Hydra agents in a small elevator, we get one of the MCU's greatest action sequences. In a series full of bombast and extravagant visual effects, it was refreshing to see a toned-down fight sequence without a ton of CGI. Of course, the filmmaking goes a long way as well, as this scene is filled with some great editing and choreography.
I just want you to know, Cap. It's in
It kind of feels personal.
As Cap fought his way out of the elevator, he made a strong case for why he should be considered the most badass member of the Avengers. 2015, Sandstorm Chase, Mad Max Fury Road. We considered giving this spot to the magnificent church fight in Kingsman: The Secret Service, but in the end, Fury Road won out. The fourth installment in the Mad Max series is regarded as one of the best action movies of the 2010s. Although it contains plenty of insane and varied action scenes, the most gripping of them all was the sandstorm sequence. Seeing the approaching storm makes for a frightening and awe-inspiring view. The visuals only get better once the characters enter the churning sand.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
While the red and orange light of the storm makes everything feel eerily surreal, amazing shots like the one where a truck and its occupants fly through the air leave us breathless. 2016, Darth Vader's Rampage, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. It's safe to say that Rogue One is one of the most dark Star Wars films to date. One of the most memorable moments comes when Darth Vader goes on a rampage through the Rebel command ship. Just as the troops acquire the Death Star's plans, we hear Vader's iconic breathing echo through the dark hallway. Suddenly, his red lightsaber cuts through the darkness. The reveal itself would have been amazing on its own, but it's what follows that remains burned in all our memories. In this scene, he proves why he's one of the most feared men in the galaxy by striking down the rebels with ease. Vader had never seemed so terrifying or so badass. 2017, Thor's full powers awaken. Thor Ragnarok. Yes, the Kong vs. Skullcrawler fight from Kong Skull Island was impressive, but there's nothing cooler than watching Thor unleash his lightning powers to the sound of Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. This scene has it all. A great build-up, cool slow motion shots, and Hulk fighting a giant wolf, all synced to one of the greatest rock songs in music history. Up to this point, the movie had been mostly lighthearted fare with fun action scenes thrown in for good measure. But this climactic fight sequence gave Thor Ragnarok one of the most impressive action scenes of the century. 2018, Helicopter Chase, Mission Impossible Fallout. The Mission Impossible franchise went on an absolute tear in the 2010s, knocking it out of the park with every installment. 2018's Fallout might be the greatest of them all. Its action set pieces were absolutely mesmerizing. Just look at the breathtaking Halo jump scene. Then there's the helicopter chase through the mountains of Kashmir, which made for an even more eye-catching finale. The maneuvers are dizzying, the camera work is incredible, and the chase ends in amazing fashion when Ethan literally rams his helicopter into walkers. Never before has Ethan or the Mission Impossible series looked this good. 2019, Avengers Assemble, Avengers Endgame. The image of Godzilla melting everything in his path in King of the Monsters was definitely memorable, but it just couldn't top a scene that was a decade and billions of box office dollars in the making. This incredible sequence begins much like a sci-fi western, with a battered Cap standing alone against Thanos and his army. Suddenly, a seemingly endless stream of heroes arrive through the portals to the sound of Alan Silvestri's uplifting score. The heroes charge at Thanos as the Avengers theme blares in the background.
Avengers!
Assemble.
It gives us chills every time. It's going to be a long while before we get another moment as cinematic and as earned as this.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
2020. Escape. Extraction. Even though 2020 didn't see many wide movie releases, it still provided audiences with some great sequences. The inverted fight scene in Tenet was predictably mind-blowing, and the police station sequence from Birds of Prey proved to be one of the coolest Harley Quinn moments ever. However, Netflix's Extraction contained an extravagant action sequence that further blurred the line between big cinematic events and at-home streaming.
Kids, you trust me?
No.
Good.
No!
The scene was expertly filmed and edited to look like an unbroken 12-minute sequence, and the results are nothing short of extraordinary. One-take shots may be a bit gimmicky sometimes, but we always love to see the results.
Okay, we're gonna jump on 3, alright?
What?
1.
The punch and realism that this sequence brought made it the most badass scene of the year.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.